So, David, how are you today?
Very, very good and very nice to meet you. Thank you
Ni-
for having me today.
Nice meeting you, David. It's a pleasure. So, how was your day so far?
Today, did some teaching, got some admin stuff done here because there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that we're always working on here, whether it be for my band Renaissance or for what I do as a vocal coach here at Extreme
Yeah,
Vocal Institute. There's always things to keep us busy.
cool, man, cool. And David, recently you released your new single, Split Bro. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the making of this song and the work behind this music video?
Yeah, Split Brow is a really exciting and really fun song, and it was such a cool challenge for us to make together because we wrote the song in a very different way than we have anything else in the past. We got a collection of riffs together. Our guitarist Dave sent a bunch of stuff around to everyone in the band saying, everyone kind of make your own version of this. I want to hear like what people's kind of version of the song would be. Like if you had to take these ideas and make your own thing out of them, what would that be? What would that look like? And we kind of formed Split Brow on top of that concept. We built it to really represent how strong we are as a band live. I ended up writing the song in a more personal way than I ever have any other song I've written before. So that was a really interesting challenge for me, kind of letting that personal side of my own story kind of through.
Yeah.
And then lastly, like as I'm sure you may be aware at this point, I also mix and mastered the song. And
Mm.
that's the first time I've done that with something like publicly with a major release like this. So I'm very excited to be in the production chair for those kinds of things now too.
Amazing, amazing. And with Split Bro out now, so where it is leading? So are you guys working on to come up with an EP or a full-length album? So what's the plan?
Those are, I can say some of it. I can say
Yeah.
some of that. Because we've been playing a lot of shows. We did a lot of touring last year and the year before. Because after we put out our debut EP, Born from the End, in the spring of 2024, we essentially were just playing shows nonstop after that, between lots of headline dates, tours with friends like in Deadlands and Escape the Fate, A Skylit Drive, lots of different bands, a handful of different festival appearances. We kind of moved nonstop and we put out a couple songs since then. Like we put out our song Less Than Nothing that people really enjoyed. That one goes really hard live. We did a collaboration song with one of our good friends, Logan. His artist name is Dal Av, and that song's called Break Through the Surface. And then we really went into writing mode when we got back from all of these various shows and festivals. And we have a lot of stuff we're sitting on right now. I have a lot of plans for a lot of these different things, and I can't exactly say what they are, but there's definitely more on the way. There's more with Split Brow, there's more where that came from.
Fantastic, fantastic. And would you like to tell me a bit on how Renesans started and how you guys started as a band?
As a band, Renaissance really only started existing like this a couple years ago because during COVID, like once we started to really take off in terms of what I do as a vocal coach here at Extreme Vocal Institute, and as I was working with more bands and we were gaining traction online, we wanted to make sure that I had an active musical project to kind of showcase what I'm able to do and kind of put proof to concept of if people are going to trust me with their voices, I should show them that I'm also someone doing all the same things and also out here like being in a band myself. And it started as just me and our producer at the time and writer Taylor Larson. That was a really cool time during those years where because nothing was really open, we couldn't really do anything or go anywhere. So it was just us and Taylor in the studio and just writing songs for just me, which was fun. And I loved doing that to kind of get my feet wet with this and kind of figure out what I wanted to do. And then it really took getting into songs like Labor of Hate, which we worked on and wrote with Chris Wiseman from Currents and Shadow of Intent. He's great. That's really the first time there was ever like a full band as Renaissance. So it stopped being just like a project of mine in the background and became a full-on band
Mm.
in the foreground. And then we announced the EP, started to get different like radio play on Sirius XM radio with songs like ours, like Witch Hunt, which was awesome. And then we played our first show at home here in Boston for the EP release, which went crazy. So many people came out to that. And that's really when we became a band actually playing shows. So it's only been like a couple weeks ago was the 2 year anniversary of the EP. So we've only been playing shows for the last 2 years. So stuff has moved pretty fast, which has been awesome and very exciting. And I'm really looking forward to what's next.
Awesome, awesome. And you being a vocal coach and you have done great things behind the scenes with a lot of great bands over the years. So how was that experience and what made you to motivate to become a vocalist by yourself?
A big part of it all kind of comes from the same place for me, both being a vocalist and helping everyone else with their voices too, here as a vocal coach, whether it be bands that have been doing this for years and years that I've been listening to since I was a kid, or like people just starting out and people just trying to seek guidance and trying to figure this out on their own, like I was back in the day growing up. And for me, I was a lot more involved in like classical music, a lot of jazz music, other elements of like musical theater growing up. And I really enjoyed those things. I thought I was going to maybe do that as a career. And when I found rock music, found metal music, and kind of heard screaming for the first time, especially live, kind of by
Yeah,
accident, I fell in love with it. It was a kind of expression I had never experienced before. I'd never seen anyone really let loose like that because so much of classical opera, musical theater, like there's a lot of more bigger sense of
yeah,
control
yeah.
there. And watching people just really let loose was extremely inspiring and
Mm,
made me want to go after it immediately. And
mm,
I started right away. I just dove right in, tried to do my best, formed a band within like 2 weeks, I think, and just really went for it. And
mm,
over the years, I was helping a lot of people in my own area here, bands that we would be playing with. And when people would ask me vocal questions, I would say a little bit to them, give them a little bit of guidance, and it would work right away. And then
mm,
it happened again and again. And I started to notice that the way I was kind of, not even just what I was doing, but how I was explaining the things was really working and helping people. And as we moved up in the industry and as we started to kind of work with and be around a lot more different touring artists and bands, I was noticing that all the questions I was getting there
mhm.
from different vocalists were the same as the ones I was hearing from the people around me at home or people just starting out and kids. Like all the worries and fears were the same. All of the questions and the concerns and the anxieties were the same. And no one was really able to do anything about it. And that's really when I stepped up to the plate and said, if no one else is going to be able to help everybody not only understand this stuff, but feel better about it,
Yeah.
then I think I can do this. I really think I have what it takes to make it work. And now here we are several years later, and
Yeah.
it's definitely making a difference.
Amazing, amazing. And would you like to tell me a bit about Extreme Vocal Institute, which is started? So, what exactly are you guys doing there, and how it's going to benefit the people?
So we do a lot here at Extreme Vocal Institute, and I've been teaching for a long time, like I just mentioned, like always kind of helping people when they ask questions, even when I wasn't like officially like a vocal
Mm,
coach with
yeah.
something like this. And it's a lot of it started online. It started with a YouTube channel, like with so many other things. Like I remember growing up as a kid, like there wasn't really any other way to learn other than trying to find different videos on YouTube. And it was just a lot of other kids trying to figure it out for themselves and just trying to do things and see what would work and what would stick. And there wasn't a lot of structure behind it. And there wasn't a lot of knowledge of like the anatomy or like understanding of what these things actually are at their core. And that's really what I dug into. And I tried my best to take, and it took some time to figure this out, how to take all of like the raw information of what this stuff is and why it works and kind of making it fun and enjoyable to figure out and learn and making the actual learning and development process a positive thing rather than it feeling like the work that people
Mhm.
either don't want to do or very often skip over or try to rush. And started with our YouTube channel. That became our TikTok, which all went crazy as COVID started to open up and shows started to come back. And then we released what we call our EVI Now program. That's our online guided lesson program, where in addition to our YouTube channel, which we are like well over 200,000 subscribers now, like we've helped thousands of people all around the world with our online program, like just about every country you can think of, people learning how to scream from the ground up from the program, which is essentially like having me as a vocal coach in your back
Mm.
pocket all the
Yeah.
time is really what the goal was with that program. And of course, I've been teaching people one-on-one for
Mm.
years, whether it's people just starting out or even like right behind me on the wall here, you'll see a lot of different albums. They kind of
Yeah.
span all across this way too. Like I've worked with so many different bands from Knocked Loose to Motionless in White, The Word Alive, We Came as Romans, bands like Of Sulfur, Body Snatcher, like all over the spectrum of like rock and alternative and heavy music to kind of help people grow and develop their voices. And that's been bands taking me on tour. It's been conversations like this via remote where I'm helping people when they're like getting ready for a tour or getting ready for an album. Or like with a lot of the albums behind me, a band will actually have fly me out and have me in the studio with them to help with all of the actual vocal takes. So what Extreme Vocal Institute is and what I do as a vocal coach is definitely a lot. But I'm always the first person to say, like, if you need help, regardless of what it is, I'm your guy. I can help you get there.
Beautiful, 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 David. And David, even though your music on Renaissance is going to be extreme on a heavier side, will there be a possibility to go back to the roots of jazz, opera, and all these things combined together to make something new? I know that a lot of bands do this kind of collaboration, but are you planning to do something like that?
It's interesting you asked that because I actually do my best to try to incorporate elements of that subtly into everything we already have, whether it be like the pacing of different vocal parts, like the actual rhythms themselves, the way like the chord structure of different parts are happening, the way ideas flow and in and out of each other on different elements of, for example, like on our EP Born from the End, there's a handful of songs, especially Self Revive, that have a lot of different orchestral arrangement stuff within them. We have odd time changes in different places. Like I like to kind of sneak that stuff in
Hmm.
wherever I can to kind of keep it within the metal sphere, but still bringing in the elements of music that I love. Because I could take that further, but sometimes it ends up being a bit maybe distracting from the mission statement a little bit. And I don't necessarily want to make something feel like it's just like two songs that are entirely different, smushed into one thing. But I'm always thinking of how to push the envelope further. And you never know, I might throw in like a weird musical element or a jazz lick here somewhere just for fun at some point, just to really keep people guessing. The sky's kind of the limit. And that's the fun of having this band called Renaissance
Yeah.
because we named it that because this has been my outlet for me to really express myself and kind of turn it into almost like whatever
Mm.
comes to mind. It can kind of be anything. That's been the beauty of it.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And earlier, when we were starting this conversation, you said about there are a lot of things happening, but you cannot take to say about a lot of things. But is there a plan to come up with another single anytime sooner in this year?
With this year, people have been so excited about what we're doing. We have a lot of people that really love our music, and I'm so excited for all of the people very close to us within what we call the Renegade here,
Mm.
all of our super fans here that have been so stoked about things, and we're definitely not going to keep people waiting too much longer, that's for sure.
Gotcha, gotcha. Cool, cool, David. And David, finally, any message that you have for the fans around the world?
Thank you for any of you that enjoy all the vocal content and have been learning with me. Thank you for trusting me with all of your voices. I'm really happy and honored to be here helping you all. And for all of you that have reciprocated and have enjoyed what I do as a vocalist and an artist and a writer, and especially now me taking this step into production with mixing and mastering, which is scary, but also equally as creative and very exciting. Like, thank you all for enjoying what I do and what Renaissance and I do. And from me and Dave and Ron and Luke, all of us here in Renaissance, thank you for enjoying our new song, Split Brow. And if you haven't heard it, it's out everywhere right now, and it's crazy.
Beautiful, beautiful, David. And David, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on the show and a real pleasure to meet you. And I want to thank you for putting up this awesome song, Split Bro. Like I said, a great song, totally with high energy, the power, the vocals are amazing. You guys did an amazing work on this new single. Kickstarted 2026 with an awesome single, and we are looking forward for more great things from you guys. And I wish you and the entire band all the best, and we are really hoping to see you guys on the road real soon.
Oh yeah, we are working on that right now. So definitely get ready to see more of us. And thank you so much for having me today.
My pleasure, Dave. Take care of yourself and have a good rest of the day. Bye bye.
You too. Take care.
Bye.